Hi, I'm Justin.
Pleasure meeting you.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Jordan.
Um, where are you guys from?
It's a mixed bag.
I grew up in Crown Heights.
Crown Heights.
Okay. So a New Yorker.
hmm
How about you,
right?
Josh? Where you from?
I'm from Brooklyn. I grew up in Sunset Park. Then after that, I moved to Puerto Rico. Lived there for a couple of years, and since I came back, I lived in Queens, and now I'm residing in East New York. Since I moved.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, bro?
I'm from southeastern Connecticut, Stonington, Mystic, Connecticut.
Okay.
Just made my
Okay.
way.
So where did the name for your band come from, which has nothing to do with the letter J?
All right. Well, this guy came up with the name
Okay.
a couple of years back, but it was inspired by a recent artist came out maybe like 5 years or so ago, Touring Moi, and I really
Yeah.
was pretty obsessed with him at the time, and I wanted to make like a band name that kind of related to his in a way, but not so much as like, oh shit, I just ripped off Touring Moi. So it's like, yeah, he came with the suggestion that was like, yo, let's just go with a full like French name, whatever,
And
I came
then I was on Google. I found like a French translation site,
Okay.
and I was like, what would be like a really interesting thing for the band name to mean in French? So I was like something simple, obviously. So I was like, what does my soul sound like? And then I typed in my soul, and then it was like, well, no. So yeah,
That's dope.
It sounds sweet, so you've got like Mon Ame, my soul, and so your soul obviously is, or you'd assume passionate, you've got passion in your
Yeah.
soul, like you invest your soul into things, right?
Mhm.
Our thing being music in this
yeah,
instance.
exactly.
And so coming into it kind of after the fact, Josh and Justin kind of had the stuff established, and I came in maybe, I don't even know how long you guys have been doing the vibe before I came in on drums, but
yeah, about a year or so.
it'd been a minute, but I always kind of took my nom as like, it sounds sweet. You can say my soul, my soul in English, but when you say it to somebody like Mon Ame, it's
It
it's
gives a
sweet,
little bit,
it's
yeah.
sultry,
Yeah,
it's very, it's intimate. Like you want somebody to like whisper that in your ear when you're in bed. And so I kind of feel like that's the vibe that these guys bring, that we bring. We get on
Yeah.
stage, and we got some stuff that's like a little bit heavier. We'll get you moving, but then when it comes down to it, like it's all like at the root of it. It's like the groove, and it's sultry, and it's sweet, and it makes you wanna like smile and
Gets into your soul.
wiggle around a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, usually it'll be me. I'll bring an idea to the table, or Justin. He'll bring an idea to the table, and we'll collaborate on that.
An idea being a melody or
Yeah, I mean whatever. If
Maybe a
it's-
moment in life. or
Yeah, if
something.
it's just like a whatever, like a hum or something, we'll just be like, yo, that sounds cool. Let's work around that,
Okay.
and we'll just build on top of that, and then we'll have Jordan come in, and he'll just lay down his drum track. Yeah, and we'll all put on like our each individual input in on it, because that's the way I like to do things. I like to have my members have like a say in the music, even if it's like I just made the song. It's like no, I want you guys to have your own take on it. Like your own personal, doing it all on your own.
No, but it's nice though. It's coming from the perspective of somebody that's kind of hopping into the band, where they've got enough material for an LP to be released, and have material up online as it is, and it's nice as a drummer to come in, and when you're given the the open gate of take this song and interpret it as how you want. We're curious to hear your voice, but at the same time, there's already material online that's like a pretty concrete version of the vibe that Josh or Justin may be looking to hear on the tune, respectively, on who brought the idea to the table, and it's nice to make my job easier that way, and then I can come in like
Mhm.
all right, so they want this kind of a thing going
Yeah,
on,
exactly.
so I can like stay within these parameters and kind of expand a little bit, add my voice to that in that context, and along the process, it's like it's all refining, like. I think, oh well, maybe if I like do this here, or I don't do this here, and then Josh's like, oh yeah. So maybe then if you play that there, Justin, then like I'll lay down this track, and then I don't know. It's a very collaborative process.
for
Or
sure.
recently it has been.
You feel, I guess, but
This
I-
guy comes up. Sorry to cut you off.
yeah, good.
But he comes up with ideas on guitar like every day, like more than one, and he just loses track of it, you know? So, like, it's really just the sound of his soul, and that's what it's saying. Like, I guess he wants to be on the beach, he misses summer, like.
Got a tender soul.
But that also makes the songwriting process extremely easy because he always has ideas. So like, there's never a drought of that, and yeah.
I think what the largest contributor to the sound that we get, and maybe it's ambiguity. You know, what makes it so hard to put your finger on it is that I think maybe Josh and Justin have a more overlapping. Taste in music, like what we all listen to on our free time. But I know that there's definitely some very distinct, like, we each have our own taste, or like things that we choose to spend the most of our time.
That's the thing that's cool also about like our band. We all have really distinct likes towards music. Like we all have like really different tastes and
like
genre.
What? Explain.
Well, Jordan, like you're really into.
Yeah. So.
No, let's hear it. I want to hear it.
All right. So
no sugarcoat it. Let's go. If it's screamo emo.
That's where I started. You know, if you were to track back to like 6th grade, and it's like, all right, I'm angsty, I'm trying to play the drums. Like, all right, what's good? Rev from A7X, like bench stuff.
Emery.
No, but I kind of moved on. Like, I got really into like concert and jazz band when I was in like my later years of high school, and then so I started to kind of refine some stuff. Talk to my band director. She's like, oh, you should listen to like, Miles, and check out this guy John Coltrane, or like Tony Williams, Elvin Jones. Educate yourself a little bit on like where this stuff came from, because no matter what it is that you're playing, whether it's like jazz to R&B to even the stuff that we're playing, like the drummers that I look up to and aspire to have roots in these kinds of things that go way farther back than.
That's such a blessing.
Exactly.
Damn,
And so that's kind
digging
of like
into crates in a sense.
that's what opened my door, and kind of where I've resided since. Like I went to the Collective School of Music. That was like a big thing for me in my playing as a drummer percussionist, and my growth there on. And they were just listen to Afro-Cuban music, listen to R&B music, listen to traditional jazz, contemporary jazz, listen to Brazilian stuff, listen just everything under the sun.
All right, so high school, 9th grade, met this guy. And he already knew how to play guitar. I didn't know how to play anything. And I just would see him play, like, on the train ride, like, going to school, coming back home. And it was just really inspiring. And, like, I asked my folks, like, can I get an acoustic guitar? They got me one, like, the next day, which I didn't expect. Actually, no, the same day, which I didn't expect. And, I just, like, got to it. And, like, it kind of made him my rival / like, best friend. So
which normally happens.
I'm gonna outplay you.
Yeah, that was my goal, to just like be better than him.
Eventually one day we were just like, yo, one day you'll be able to play as good as me, or better than me. Let's get to that day.
Yeah, so like, and the music he was listening to, like being a guitarist, like was totally different than what I was listening to. Like I actually didn't really care about music for like the majority of my childhood, because it was just like video games and like childish kind of shit.
Dude, that help.
I mean, I used to listen to a lot of classic rock. I used to listen to a lot of like The Doors. The Doors was one of my favorite bands when I first like started getting into like music as like a hobby. I think it was The Doors, The Who, Led Zeppelin, obviously. Who else? A couple other bands. A lot of classic rock bands. I was obsessed with classic rock. But when I started the band, I was really into independent labels.
Any names? Can we drop any names?
Yeah, I mean, like Tori Ma is still like one of my favorite artists. Tori Ma, yo, hit me up. Who else? I liked Real Estate, Mac DeMarco. Mac DeMarco was really one of my biggest inspirations when I was starting out. So pretty much Real Estate, Tori Ma, and Mac DeMarco are like pretty much the reason why I started making music and wanting to play music, because I just saw a bunch of like regular people that got their chance, to make.
So what do you plan to release in the near future? You spoke of having a lot of material.
Yeah, right now we're in the midst of recording an EP. Okay. Yeah, it's been taking some time, but we're trying to wrap it up as soon as possible, and that should be on the way probably hopefully in the next month or so. We'll be releasing our first EP.
We'll love to drop it on GreyMatters, to help. We're all that's but we're really
we're looking forward to the performance.
Yeah.
So we can see what you guys do.
Oh yeah.
From the how do I say Mon Ame?
Mon Ame.
Mon Ame. Mon
Yeah,
Ame.
there you go.
So the may at the end is just like a little play
Sound.
on the sound.
The E, yeah, the E is like, you could say it's silent.
Is it? I thought it had like.
It has, oh, right.
It's supposed to be the accent, right?
Right, it's supposed to be there.
Does it make it?
I wouldn't say that you'd want to accentuate the E though. It's just like a Mon Ame.
Mon Ame.
Yeah,
So
Mon Ame.
the
It's
band
like a
is,
soft A.
so it's Mon Ame.
Yeah, Mon Ame. There you go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Yeah.
we've been saying Mon Ame.
That's cool. Usually people
But it's
pronounce it
Mon
that way,
Ame.
but
Which is a
Usually
lot
like
better.
whatever. If as long as you
Mon Ame.
remember the
No, I like
name,
Mon
that's all I
Ame.
care about. So.
One way or
I
another.
wouldn't say it right.
I like the music even more now.
Your soul, my soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mon Ame.
Excellent.
So,
Any other questions? Do you want to wrap it up, or shall
Let's
we
send
keep
it.
digging?
Let's send it into the perform. First, before we do that,
Mhm.
is there anything you guys want to say about one of my favorite gazing, which when I got hit by the biker, I loved it. I still love it.
Yeah.
I hate to bring her up, but she ran me over. Anything that for that song in particular, what was some of the before we
like-
lead into it?
Like, what do you mean? Like,
Some of
influences?
the,
behind
yeah,
the
maybe
song,
some
or, like-
influences, maybe some.
Mm,
What moment made you think of that? That's one of the dopest songs I've heard in a long time.
Well, I guess the track, one day I think it was just me and Justin just hanging out in the basement, and what was it? I think either I started playing like the chords of the track, like I made up the harmony and the progression of the song, and Justin just came and played the bass over it, and I was like, all right, this sounds pretty cool. Let's go with it, whatever. We recorded it, took the drum take real fast, made up some vocals.
I think that song was like a breakthrough for Manam because, like, he doesn't know when he's gonna make something that's like.
He's like the genius. He's like the he's like Dexter. He's like the genius that's like, I gotta keep making.
Yeah.
So, and that's good. He's got a good squad that's like, yo, this is great, because he's gonna keep going. And that's what you're kind of saying. That's what happened with this.
I mean, I've been by Josh's side since like high school, so like we've always been like on the same kind of wave. So like once the time came for us to like try to make a band, it was real easy. Like I knew what he was kind of going for, and I had my own like input, and like when it came to gazing, when he started playing the chords in the basement, it was like I just like, okay, that sounds awesome. Like, I need to come up with something just as awesome on bass to do it justice, and like it's just like that. Like always trying to we're like challenging each other by creating music.
Synergy, yeah.
Do you feel like the band is complete?
For now, yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like there could be growth in the future, whatever, new members, new things.
So you're open
added.
to that? in the
Definitely
future?
open to everything.
He's always said he wanted like a lot, like a saxophonist.
Yeah, I want.
I can see it.
Big band, but
I see it
That's what
growing.
the
That's
same
what made me ask.
He's gonna have a whole orchestra.
because right now it's
Yeah.
just us three. I mean, sometimes we'll have like our friends like Jordan he's in a band called Think, and
Yes.
his
Shout out to
keyboardist-
Think NYC if
Yeah.
anybody's trying to check out some cool new music.
So his keyboardist Matt, he jams with us sometimes on stage, and we'll play some
That's
shows
dope.
with him. We try to get the 5-piece going. I have my old friend who will fill in on bass, and Justin will switch over to guitar. So we'll have like the 5-piece. Just have that fuller sound. I really love having a full band.
Yeah. Complete is a tough word to apply to the ensemble, because it's constantly like molding,
Exactly.
shaping, growing. And
It's always gonna keep evolving.
That was just a little monkey
No,
wrench
totally,
for the
totally.
interview.
No. I'm all
It's never
seven,
done.
8 people on the stage. That big sound.
Oh, yeah.
Look at Sergey Ross. Sergey Ross has it's like 15 people
Wow.
on stage. It works out.
But
But
Chance the
Bringing the
Rapper,
energy.
shout out to the Grammys last night. I enjoyed the bit of it I saw.
The bit of it.
Yeah, it was great.
so, yo, guys, you about to check out.
Sorry. I just want to keep going. I'm wondering, is that where you see the band going in the future? Like, do you think
Yeah.
of 10 years from now 15 years from now? Do you give a shit about the Grammys or
I don't
you know,
give a shit
gaining?
about anything mainstream,
Record.
to be honest. But
Exactly.
whatever. If I make it there, I make it there. But I don't really give.
Yeah, the vibe is if we can be playing with people that we enjoy the company of,
Exactly, it's
like
more-
these kinds of, you know, friends since as long as you can remember high school, and
Mhm.
and then, you know, connections thereafter. Like as long as we're keeping on making good connections, like playing good music, whether or not there's money there, it's like you got your money, hang, music, and if two of the three of them are there, then all's good. You know, we can.
That's all you really need, man.
Beautiful.
As long as you're passionate and you care,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's when the music comes. We organically meet.
That's
people
when we
that
want to
care.
hear it.
Keep yourself fulfilled. Keep other souls fulfilled. Just
Yeah.
give and take. That's the vibe.
Namaste.
Namaste, yo.
Namaste.
So I'm gonna lead
Thanks,
into
guys.
one of my favorite songs. I know Eb loves it.
It is beautiful.
Gaze in. We got Mon Ame about to perform it. You guys are gonna love it. Stay tuned.
Peace.
One, two, three, four. It's like our love, it stays the same. You know, in the city, it stays the same. It's like our love, it stays the same. It stays the same. It stays the same. Just like our love, it stays the same. It stays the same. It stays the same. Just like our love, it stays the same. As I gaze into your eyes, I think about that time. You know, in the city, this competition, my intuition, it'll be okay. You know, in the city, this competition, my intuition, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Just like our love, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Just like our love, it'll be okay. Whoa. Thank you.